Thank you so much, Frank Palomari. No, you're absolutely right. The sound was not on. Qapla, it's Birdo Prey 5, and welcome to the stream. And yes, I know it is very, very dark, and I apologize, but I am fighting a migraine. So I am streaming much earlier than I normally would. The regular crowd.
No notification.
Oh, Mamo Prey saying she got no notification. So that might be why there's so few people here. But I'll be honest, just as well, to be honest, because this is not going to be a particularly long stream. But I wanted to come on for at least a little bit today. There's a few things I actually did want to talk about. However, I can't do a 2-hour stream today. And there's the sound. We gotta mute that. So Frank Palomari was first, and he told me my sound was off. Thank you so much, Frank Palomari. Believe it or not, that doesn't happen all that often that I forget to turn the sound on. But it does happen once in a while. Qapla. Not Ryan Johnson says hello in Qapla, and that it's vampire time for Bird, sort of. Guys, do remember to switch on over to live chat instead of top chat, especially if you're listening to this a little later and we're not live, because YouTube simply won't show you any comments for reasons. So, two things that I put in the title. The first one, we will of course get to second, because why not? So the second thing is I'm having a lot of trouble trying to find out my 5 worst Star Trek the original series episodes. I don't know why. I do not know why. I guess I know why. Because it's much easier to tell you your favorites, because you know what your favorites are and you watch them over and over and over again. Your least favorites, you purposely try to avoid. I mean, when do I watch one of my least favorite episodes? Only if I happen to be watching the original series on television, and it not forces me, but one of my least favorite episodes gets mixed in with a good bunch, and rather than, change the channel, because, picking up the remote control is a lot of work, I will just sit there and, maybe I'll watch Box Brain or something that I might not normally do. So I figured, well, let's, because I'm doing the research for my bottom 5 TOS episodes, because I just put out my top 5 TOS episodes video, and it's only got about 100 views compared to 8,000 plus almost 9,000 views, I think, for my Dave Chappelle video, which I did last week. And I mean, compared to many thousands of views on videos with the Twilight Zone remake and Star Trek Discovery and Star Trek Picard. So it's a little demoralizing when you spend weeks working on a video and you're lucky to get 100 views in 24 hours when, videos you do on the spur of the moment with zero editing whatsoever can net you 5 or 10 times as many views in the same amount of time. That said, what it has done is help grow the channel. We've gotten more subscriptions in the last 24 hours since I released the video than we did in the week before. So videos like these help grow the channel, which is imperative for many, many reasons. So I understand that, view count is not the ultimate metric on YouTube. And neither is subscribers. To be perfectly frank, there is no ultimate metric. It depends what you're looking for. Some people would say, well, view time. On view time, I do tremendously well. I mean, like a space engineer stream, the average view time of my space engineer stream, not the last one that I ended up having to delist, but the one before it, was 49 minutes and 50 seconds. Almost an hour of view time on a space engineer stream, which got, over 100 views so far. I mean, that's 100 hours of people watching my content, which is really, really good. But, I mean, the numbers, well, let's put it this way. I mean, I had a video had over 45,000 views. It might have had more than that by now. I haven't checked it. But the Game of Thrones season finale video had something north of 40,000 views within 2 or 3 days, or the first week. Tremendous number of views. But the average view duration was like a minute and a half. Now, 40,000 times a minute and a half, that's still a hell of a lot of watch time, and YouTube loved it. YouTube algorithm was promoting that video like crazy. The YouTube algorithm loves my Dave Chappelle video. It promotes it like crazy. For whatever reason, the YouTube algorithm doesn't give two poops about my Star Trek Top 5 Episodes video, but you guys do. I've received so much positive comments and feedback. The video that, like I said, had 99 views when I checked it just a few minutes ago. It had over 40 comments, though. Actual comments, comments under the video. Not live stream comments, because it wasn't a live stream. But 40 plus comments off of 99 views, and in fact, every single one of them were positive comments. People who said that not only was it a good video, more than one person said it was my best video ever. And Captain Redneck, who, for all of his possible flaws, is, if nothing, brutally honest. And I asked him to be brutally honest offline in Discord. And he said, "Are you sure?" Because he hadn't seen the video. And I asked him specifically to watch it because I knew he will not, he won't tell me what I want to hear. He will tell me what he really believes. And we talked in Discord, and he's like, okay. He's like, I'll watch it. Are you sure you want to hear, do you want the truth, or do you want, good job? I was like, no, I want the truth. Give me your full out truth. And on Discord, he gave me his full out truth, and it was overwhelmingly positive. And then he posted like a good comment in the video too. But on Discord, he was a little more detailed, and he loved it. Quite a few people, lots of new people to the channel, names I haven't seen before, have all talked about how good it was. We got people from Doomcock who didn't know I even had a channel, who came over, and they said, "Oh, this is a great video." So the views are one thing, but so I promised I was going to do a bottom 5 TOS episodes video, and I'm definitely going to do it. Now, it's not going to be, the production value isn't going to be as high, because frankly, I want to put more time into the best of the best videos. The worst of the worst videos, I'm going to talk, I'm going to put in some clips, but I'm not going to try to fill in every single second of screen space with something interesting on the screen, You might just be looking at my animated, face in a jar type of thing for quite a bit of the video, in between clips of awful episodes. So what I need help with, though, is, and I'd really love it if after the video you leave me a comment, or you could comment live if you're here now. What do you guys think the worst TOS episodes are? Because I thought Journey to Eden, or The Way to Eden, That's not good. Yes, Thomas, I look dark because the lights are off. Because I'm fighting a migraine. Yeah, I'm sorry. For those guys who just got in, I know it was a slow start. Notifications went out late, if at all. I have a migraine. This is not going to be a long stream. And I'm streaming early because I wanted to get it over with. But I wanted to be sure I got on today. I don't know if this is going to get better or worse for tonight. I don't get migraines often, but when I do, I do. So yeah, lights are low. I apologize for the darkness. Just consider it spooky or something. So yeah, I need to know what are some of the worst TOS episodes, because Way to Eden, I maybe I saw that episode once 10, 15, 20 years ago, and I was like, oh, this sucks. But I just watched it again, figuring that this would be definitely one of my bottom fives, and I gotta say, it's a cringe episode, but it's an episode that's so bad it's actually kind of fun. And Thomas Potts with $1.99 super chat says, "Feel better." Thank you so much, Thomas. I appreciate it. I'm sure I will. I took an Excedrin. It helped. It's helping. If in a few hours it's still not good, I'll take another Excedrin. And usually I'm lucky. I am lucky. I mean, I know people who get terrible migraines, and luckily I'm not one of those people, generally. 1, 2 Excedrin, it usually, and if I close my eyes for a half hour, it usually does a pretty good job of knocking it down. I mean, when I woke up, not when I woke up, but a couple hours after I woke up, I couldn't even see the damn computer screen. I've got the computer screen at minimum brightness. We got the lights in the house at minimum brightness, and luckily there's some sun coming in from the window, so we have something to see for Mamo Pray, but not a hell of a lot otherwise. Let me get to the chat in a second. So anyway, yeah, please give me any ideas for TOS episodes, because I'm going to say, Way to Eden, it's kind of funny. It's kind of fun. It's an episode that's so bad it's fun, and I don't know that it would make my bottom 5. Like, I really don't. See, the episodes I didn't like, I haven't watched in a long time, and now I'm afraid when I watch them, I might decide that they weren't as bad as I thought they were. Especially after having seen Star Trek Discovery. It kind of pushes up everything else, no matter how bad it is. Now, there is one particular episode that I saw in the last year that, without a doubt, is going to be on my bottom 5. Now, I'm not going to mention it here because I don't want to give it away. But there's still quite a few that I've heard, and they're well known to be poor episodes, like Spock's brain, and his brain is gone. But I'm not sure Spock's brain really qualifies as a bottom 5. I remember seeing it not that long ago. I mean, not recently, maybe 2-3 years ago. And, man, compared to Star Trek Discovery, it was like a pile of gold. So, I don't know. I just don't know if Spock's brain would make the bottom 5. Way to Eden, I would have a really hard time justifying it as a bottom 5 episode. It's going to be tough. Like, I can tell you, for TNG and Voyager, and even Deep Space Nine, I mean, these were all series that went 7 seasons. I will have no problem finding 5 bad episodes from those. However, TOS, with only 3 seasons of episodes to choose from, it's going to be tough. And Enterprise, I know everybody hates, not everybody, but the popular thing. It's the least liked non-Discovery Star Trek, and lots of people think lots of episodes suck, whereas I personally like a lot of episodes. And the episodes the season I like least, which is season 3. That's not to say I dislike it, but it's just the season I like least. The whole Xindi arc is what most people like the most. So Enterprise, which is still a long ways away before we get there, that's going to be a tough one. Orville will be another tough one to fit five bad episodes. Unless we've already, it could be a year before I get to Orville. It could be longer. So we might already have a third season of Orville, but just taking it from the first 2 seasons, there's 2 episodes that I would say would be least favorite or bottom 5. And I really, a lot of people like those episodes. So those would just be my bottom 5. I'd have a really hard time judging. Okay, I could safely say I could name 3 episodes of Orville that were below par for me. And I could even probably put them in 1, 2, 3 order. But 4 and 5, I don't know how the hell I would do that. Because, other than those 3, almost every episode of the Orville is so far above average that it would be cruel to call an episode that I would rate, a 7.5 out of 10 as a worst episode. How do you do that as a 5 worst? Empirically, because I rated 7.5, whereas maybe 4 other episodes are 7.6 or 7.75. Yeah, okay, 7.5 is mathematically lower than, but it's so hard to tell. Episodes fluctuate day to day, whatever mood you're in. Who's the hell is to say that an episode I rate 7.5 today isn't going to rate a 7.7 tomorrow or even an 8? Bests, for all their problems, they change a lot less to me than worsts. And I know I'm babbling, but yeah, that's the situation I'm in. So let me read some comments, and then I want to get to this bathroom stall thing that just makes me shake my head, and I have some personal experience with. And then we will probably just call it a stream. So we got off to a slow start, and Frank Palomari, once again, thank you for letting me know that my microphone was off. Mama Pray said no notification. She said hi to everybody. John DeMarco says, hey Bird, the lighting is almost as dark as a disco episode. Captain MKG says Darth Bird is in the house. Peter Quinn says, hey Bird of Prey, how's you? Well, just fighting a migraine, Peter Quinn, but I hope you are well. And hey, I'm actually streaming at a time you're awake. So welcome, Peter. John DeMarco says, redneck seal of approval, very impressive. I was impressed. I impressed myself with that. Thomas Potts says hi. Peter Quinn says hi to Mama Pray and all. Chris M. Collecting says hello, Bird. Welcome, Chris M. Peter Quinn says space hippies, Bird of Prey 5, but it's hilarious. It is. There are a few cringe moments. The singing. Oh my God, all the singing. But to be honest, goddamn, Way to Eden is so socially relevant. Today, it is a socially relevant episode. It's amazing how relevant it is. I couldn't put it. Jesus Christ. I almost want to say it should have deserved an honorable mention. It is so not at the bottom. John DeMarco says the alternative fact it was a pretty rough episode. You know what? As from what I remember, yes, I agree. The Alternative Factor is on my short list of episodes to rewatch to confirm that they'd be on my bottom list. That's what's going to be tough. I'm going to have to rewatch a whole bunch of episodes to actually be sure I want to put them on my bottom list. And Thomas Potts put in his super chat. Thank you again, Thomas. Anti-Trigger says, "Hey, Bird, sorry you're not feeling well. Thoughts and prayers, buddy. By the way, server's up and running, and we need to have Wes or Cinnabon move Karoga stuff to the new server." That's excellent to hear, Anti-Trekker. I was working on the old server this morning. I woke up at 5 a.m. my time, and I had nothing to do. It was before the migraine started, so I was doing quite a bit of work over at Karoga. And that's glad. I'll be happy to see that stuff gets pasted over. We will just have to, maybe I'll scout it out, but Karoga just needs to be pasted onto another ice lake because the entire base is built around the ice lake. It could be any ice lake, but it needs to be an ice lake. Anti-Trigger says, "You like the way to eat an unsubbed." Anti-Trigger, there's just so many things in it. I so wish we could like live watch and review it together, while playing it on YouTube, but freaking YouTube, you just can't do it. But I'd love to freaking debate it or something, as it was playing in the background, because there's so many things that actually, like the whole, hell, this was 1960. This was the third season, Way to Eat It. So this was 1969. So this was, I don't even know if, the moon landing had just happened. Probably. And they're already talking about superbugs, right? The Way to Eat It, the main guy, he's got a superbug. Superbugs are in the news all the time right now. And he's got a superbug and vaccinations, right? Vaccinations is a big thing. This guy was the first anti-vaxxer. Maybe not the first, but seriously, anti-vaxxing, it's a major thing today. This was an anti-vaxxer episode. It was a superbug episode. They called Chekhov. This was 1969. Pavel Chekhov was talking about, how they were using their star charts to infer if other planets were there from the effects of gravity on other known orbits of other planets and stars. Which, granted, I guess scientists were doing for a long time, but damn, that was some pretty impressive stuff to be talking about. Now, he shouldn't have told his old girlfriend how to take over the Enterprise. I'll grant you that. And one of these other alien, I guess he's an alien. He looked human, but he had super Vulcan-like power of the neck pinch. But he had a two-finger neck pinch instead of a shoulder pinch or a neck shoulder pinch, like the Vulcans did. But it was a pretty decent episode, I gotta say. Peter Quinn says, "Hey to Anti-Trigger." John DeMarco says, "Hopes the migraine feels better soon." Thank you, John. And Peter says, "Oh man, Bird of Prey, I've only had one migraine and I had ear infection at the same time." I almost worry that I have an ear infection. I've been when I turn, I hear things in this ear. And Joseph Patrick with a €2 super chat. "You are on the dark side. Alexa, turn on the light." Joseph, I got the lights down. It's actually already helping. Because I was having a migraine, and just keeping the lights low does help the migraine. Captain Redneck says, well, first off, welcome, Captain Redneck. I didn't even know you were in the chat when I was talking about you, so I hope if you heard it, it was only good things. Isn't there about 70 bad TOS episodes? Well, Captain, not to me. I'll be honest. Not to me. I'll grant you, some aren't as good as others. There are definitely excellent episodes, and good episodes, and okay episodes. But the actual number of poor episodes, see, that's the problem. There is a definitively 5 worst for any series. But if none of the 5, or even some of the 5, I don't rate as poor episodes overall, I have a really hard time including them on a 5 worst list. It just doesn't seem fair. Hacky Time says, sorry to hear that, Bird. Hope you are feeling better. Thank you, Hacky Time. If I'm pronouncing that right, Hakeem, or is it Hakeem? Especially since there's no hack time. No, is there a T? No, there's no T. See, the eyes are going. Hackheim. There's no T in the name. I know that now. So, Hakeem. Sorry to hear that, Bird. Hope you feel better. Thank you, Hakeem. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Peter Quinn says Spock's brain was terrible. I know it's not good. And I know it's not great. But I'm not sure, and I have to rewatch it. I am not sure if it's objectively terrible. I doubt it's objectively terrible. I'm not even sure if it's objectively poor. I know Leonard Nimoy was embarrassed filming the episode, and I know it's a ridiculous premise. But let's face it, a hell of a lot of Star Trek episodes are based on ridiculous premises. So the premise that a body could survive without the brain, especially when it's an alien body that might have redundancies the human body does not, it's not out of the realm of possibility that surviving without a brain on a non-human is a physical possibility. The most absurd thing was that Dr. McCoy was able to so easily make a remote control to move around his body. But let's face it, we saw the Ferengi with no medical experience whatsoever, Nog and a few other Ferengi do the same thing almost in Deep Space Nine. Now, I know Deep Space Nine was quite a bit later in the timeline, but these people had no medical knowledge whatsoever, whereas Dr. McCoy is arguably the best doctor in Starfleet at the time. So I'm not sure that was even all that hard to accept. German Trekkie says, hey, welcome, German Trekkie, and everybody definitely check out German Trekkie's channel too. German Trekkie does a lot of Bridge Commander, but he also does videos just about Star Trek in general. He did a recent short video on what Star Trek meant to him. It was only I think it was less than 2 minutes, but it was a good video. And some other videos he's done have been, besides the game videos, because games are for some people and not others, but actual Star Trek videos, he does a good job. So check him out. He is on the certified nerds list at antitrekker.com. Josh Street says, why is Bird so dark, or does he not have the lights on? No, the lights are not on, Josh Street. Josh Street says, Bird of Prey with Voyager is going to be hard to find 5 good episodes. Not so much. I could find 5. I think I'd have a hard time finding top 10. Because with Voyager, you got a few good episodes, and you got a whole lot of just okay episodes. And you got a few bad episodes. And then you have Threshold. Okay, and I'll be honest, I don't know if Threshold's actually going to turn out to be my bottom. I wouldn't even be talking about it, but I'd be surprised if Threshold turns out to be my worst Voyager episode, because Threshold is another one of those episodes that has gotten to a point that it's so bad that it's actually a little fun to watch. So we'll have to see what Voyager ends up being. I don't know. It's not something I ever quantified in my brain before. There are episodes. There's a lot of like Kess and Neelix episodes that certainly will rival thresholds for worst episode. Yeah. Godspeed, Bird of Prey 5, you well, and thank you so much for Hakeem. I assume that's for Karoga. Thank you so much. I will get to that. I hope I was pronouncing your name correctly. I will get to the chat. I'll get down there in a second. Godspeed says Bird of Prey 5. Are you well? I'm just having a migraine, but it's subsiding. Thank you, Godspeed. Captain Redneck says Voyager is awesome. Much better than DS9. Well, I will agree to disagree with Captain Redneck there. Peter Quinn says the Xindi arc was great, but that wasn't original timeline Bird of Prey. Yeah, I mean, timelines are definitely in play in Enterprise. So, I guess that's one way of looking at it. Although, I don't think they intended it to be a different timeline when they wrote it. Godspeed is asking Captain Redneck who heard him. John DeMarco says Orville has so few total episodes that 5 best plus 5 worst will be a big chunk of the show. Sure. I mean, they've only had, 24, 25 episodes so far? That's a single season of any other Star Trek. So, 5 top and 5 best. That's 40% of all the episodes. Nevertheless, I can tell you definitively, 3 worst episodes. And I'll be honest, it is quite possible, and I know this makes 0 sense, but there's one episode in particular that may well make both the best episode list and the worst episode list of Orville, if we don't get more episodes by the time I get to Orville. Peter Quinn says Voyager is on rewatch on Horror Channel UK here. Voyager comes on Tuesdays on BBC America here. Today, Mondays, is TNG. Josh Reed says Captain Redneck has a few okay episodes, but not good episodes. Oh, Voyager. There are some good Voyager episodes. For me, anyway. You guys, it's good if your opinions vary. And Peter Quinn says it's 7 p.m. by him. Well, now it's 7. Well, I don't know what time it was when he said that, because it was 1:30 here. Peter Quinn says some episode. Voyager rewatches at 7 p.m. maybe. Peter Quinn says Captain Redneck. Some episodes were. Godspeed says Bird of Prey. How about the top 10 Michael Burnham greatest moments? No, in fact, you'll notice Star Trek Discovery is not in my plans. Okay, for top 5 nor bottom 5, because I would be able to find neither. And frankly, I have no desire whatsoever to rewatch Star Trek Discovery to try to figure out which was my absolute best and worst episodes. Offhand, Star Trek Discovery best episode is probably New Eden. And second best would be the one where whatever the hell the name of the episode was, but where they return to Talos 4. And just about every other episode is in tie for the worst episode. Of course, though, Runaway is the absolute worst 15 minutes of scripted content I ever had the misfortune of seeing. Captain Redneck says, I disagree, Josh. I love Voyager, almost as good as TNG. Well, Voyager is certainly closer to TNG than DS9. Peter says, but I love the darker Star Trek. Well, not everybody loves darker Star Trek. I do. Well, let's put it, I love DS9. I do not love physically darker Star Trek. That is Discovery. Wesley Crusher's Bird of Prey. How's it going? It's going better, Wes. Migraine seems to be subsiding. That's why it's so dark in here. Mike Richards says greetings from Columbus, Ohio. Greetings, Mike Richards. Captain NKG, is there a bad episode in TOS Season 1? I don't know. Offhand, I mean, I don't know the seasons, all the episodes per season. I'd have to check. Godspeed says, Bird of Prey, lol, did you forget to pay the light bill? No, it's to keep the migraine from getting worse. Peter Quinn says, oh, I got Supernatural in Generations on Sims 3. Bird of Prey, woohoo. I can now woohoo in showers. Wow. Okay, I didn't know woohooing was part of the game. Wesley Crusher says, Bird of Prey, all goes well. Didn't you say that already? Oh, you said, how's it going? I answered. Barcode Boys, cousin. Hey, Joe, welcome those Barcode Boys. Guys, those Barcode Boys. Now, I know it's not YouTube, but they have a YouTube channel now, and they stream to both YouTube and Twitch and a bunch of others at the same time. Yesterday, I guess, or recently, they were streaming, and on Twitch, when you're not live, you can put somebody else's live content on your stream for your other viewers to watch. And I guess somebody who had 175 viewers at the time put up Barcode Boys to watch. And so that was a big, kind of endorsement. And I think it was a really good time their channel had yesterday or whenever it was. I saw them get a whole bunch of new subscribers or Twitch followers, whatever they're called. But do check out those Barcode Boys. Josh Street says, Captain Redneck, Voyager is the same as TNG for me, right behind TOS, Ent, and DS9. Both Boy and TNG are right in front of STA, and everyone is in front of STD. You know, that's actually pretty close for me, too. Wesley says, Bird of Prey, what do you want saved? The base? West, the base, the ships. The base and the ships. Forget Temp Karoga, and forget the various little things built up around. Everything at the ice lake. The base, the ships, that's it. We've got everything else we need there. Anti-Trigger says, tell you what, Joe, once we have enough people supporting the channel and we can do a Vimeo account, we will do it. Live reactions of really bad episodes. Or not bad episodes. But yeah, Anti-Trigger, that sounds good. Peter Quinn says, IB 6:35 p.m. What time you got? 1:49 p.m. here, Peter. And Yosef put in his €2 super chat. Thank you, Yosef. Peter Quinn says, Voyager is a combo of TNG and TOS for me, apart from Living Witness, Bird of Prey. Living Witness. Is that one of the episodes I really like? Living Witness. Oh, is that the doctor? No. Let's see. What is Living Witness? Yes, it is. Okay, so it is the episode. Living Witness was a good episode to watch at the time. I enjoyed it. I'll be honest. I still enjoy it. But I would have a really hard time putting Living Witness as a top 5. Because Living Witness destroys future canon. I hate it. I hate for the ramifications Living Witness has. And quite frankly, the ramifications of Living Witness are just so bad, it is something easily ignored, as it should be. But if you're going to produce an episode, that takes place so far in the future, you have to be very, very careful of what you say, because this is going to be the problem with Star Trek Discovery Season 3. People think, oh, they're in the future, they can't affect canon. Not true. They can affect canon very easily. In fact, more easily than they could being in the past. The problem with Star Trek Discovery, yes, we always said it should have taken place in the future, but not... the fact that they're still from the past is still a problem. And it's the same problem with Living Witness. In Living Witness, a backup of the Doctor, which they never, ever, ever had before and will never, ever, ever have again, but somehow a backup of the Doctor, which has never existed, was lost during a fight, and a civilization uncovers it hundreds and hundreds of years later, and 800-something years later, the Doctor is reactivated. Actually, a copy of the Doctor is reactivated in a museum in the future on this planet. And we got a delivery. Yeah, Mom, we got a delivery. I'll put it to the face so you can walk to the door. So Living Witness, the Doctor gets reactivated. He wakes up 800 years in the future, and he's in the middle of a political... Yes, you can go. He's in the middle of political unrest in this planet, and but the problem is, 800 years in the future, and the Doctor asks, well, what happened to Voyager? And this planet doesn't know. In fact, as far as we know, they've had no contact with the Federation whatsoever. Excuse me, in 2480, or whatever it was, when Voyager...
Excuse me, you saw him come up?
No, I heard a noise.
Oh, okay.
I thought I could have sworn it was here.
Yeah.
There's nothing?
It's a FedEx truck still out there.
Okay, but they didn't put anything?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. It must have been another house. My bad. Sorry, guys.
Okay, wait, don't turn it back.
I'm not turning it back.
Okay.
Sorry, everybody. How do you say that the Federation never made contact with the Delta Quadrant 800 years later? I mean, Voyager brought back some type of slipstream technology. Surely in 800 years, whether it's the Federation, the Klingons, the Romulans, or even some Delta Quadrant species, someone in that time has figured out a way to travel at fast enough warp or transwarp. We know the technology exists. We know multiple cultures have transwarp technology that can make getting from Alpha Quadrant to Delta Quadrant, very realistic possibilities. That, in 100 years, I'd expect travel between the Alpha and Delta Quadrant to be as common as travel between Earth and DS9. And nobody's made contact with them. And plus, this civilization was warp capable when Voyager ran into them 800 years prior. How is it in 800 years they haven't themselves been out exploring the rest of the galaxy? So it's a very upsetting episode in that we're to believe that all technology advancement ends for 800 years. And that makes no sense. Because at the end of the episode, the Doctor takes a ship and heads back to Earth to see if he can ever track down what happened to Voyager. I would love it. And I don't think it has any chance in hell of happening. But what if the Doctor shows up in Star Trek Discovery Season 3? Because they went 950 years into the future at the end of Discovery Voyager takes place about 100 years after Discovery, maybe even 120. So you're only maybe 30 years off from the time the Doctor should be getting back to Earth. Maybe even less, to be honest. If it takes the Doctor, say, 40 or 50 years to get back to Earth from the Delta Quadrant, they actually should be running into each other right about the same damn time. That would actually be pretty interesting. Don't get me wrong, I still wouldn't love it. And it would never fix all of the substantial problems with Discovery. But it would be cool. Yeah, so I mean that for that reason alone, Living Witness is never going to be in my top 5. Mr. Londell says, Qapla, Mr. Londell. Peter Quinn says, I am getting a Google Home Hub from my energy company. Oh, very cool, Peter. My power company, Con Ed, they do let you save like 10% if you install a device, but the device lets them turn off your air conditioning when it gets really hot. And I'm like, no. The whole reason I have power is so I can have air conditioning when it gets really hot. I'm not going to let you turn it down or turn it off. Joseph Patrick says, sorry, I did not know you're streaming so early, but I like it. No need to go to bed for at least 3 or 4 hours. So stream ahead. QWERTY community will hear you. Thank you, Joseph. And it's helping. Hakeem says, yep, that was right. Lowell, well, thank you, Hakeem. It took me long enough, but I worked it out. Wesley Crusher says, Bird of Prey. Know how I wonder how much abuse can anti-server take? Well, that's going to be it. Let's try it. We're going to have to see how much we can throw at it. Peter says you just got to put Janeway in Paris, Space Amphibians as the worst episode ever. Yeah, that's Threshold. I don't know. That would be worst. I'm not even sure it'll be in the bottom 5. Joseph says I am sorry about the migraine. Oh, thank you, Joseph. Wesley says, Anti-Trigger, you should save up for a server computer, maybe even a special fundraiser. Well, his computer seems to be working now, the server computer. Wesley says, I will if enough people play. Why, is the server not working well? And Peter Quinn says, Voyager does get better after Jerry Ryan appears. That's mostly true, yes. Although, I'll be honest, I don't think my top 5 episodes are going to feature, focus on 7 of 9. She'll probably be in most of them, but very few, if any, will focus on her. Hakeem with his $2 super chat. Thank you again, Hakeem, for Karoga. Hail, Karoga. Karoga needs all the help it can get. Joseph Pedrick's Bird of Prey Threshold is actually not as bad as the first 30 minutes. Not only the act, only the last act is a dumpster fire. Yes, the first 30 minutes of Threshold isn't a bad episode. It's a bit weird, and the entire notion that Warp 10 is a barrier is my biggest problem with the episode. Even the space amphibian babies, and even the concept of evolving, evolution doesn't work that way. I don't have as many problems with those as I do with the very fact that Warp 10 is simply not a barrier. Okay, the sound barrier, that's a barrier. Light speed, that's a barrier. The laws of physics say you can't go faster than the speed of light. It's a barrier. The sound barrier, that's an actual speed above which you get a sonic boom if you're moving in the atmosphere. That's an actual barrier. Infinite speed, right? Warp 10 is infinite speed. Infinity is not a barrier. You can't ever go faster than infinite speed. Joseph Petrick says €2. Bit rugged looks. Shave and get your hair cut, hippie. Do I have a bit of a rugged look? I don't know. It's actually not It's actually not as rugged as you would think. Ah, shit. I mean, you know, it's... I've been a few days without shaving, but not... I've gone longer without shaving. But thank you again, Joseph, with €2 super chat. Yeah, so Threshold... it's the warp... all over the warp 10 barrier, the warp 10 barrier, the warp 10 barrier. It's not a barrier. It's just warp 10. Okay? And it's infinite speed, which for some reason means you're in the entire universe at the same time. But you can still stop, and you stop just, I don't know, a far distance from the ship, but close enough they can get to it in a couple of days. So that's ridiculous. And if he really was everywhere for an instant, with the Romulans, with the Klingons, with a whole bunches of other species, surely somebody somewhere in the entire universe has an answer on how they could have gotten back home faster. But that would have been too easy. Mr. Lindell says Threshold is a bad episode, but it isn't fun to watch. Captain Proton, on the other hand, is bad, but fun to watch. Well, you see, here's the thing. If it's fun to watch, it's not a bad episode. At least I would have a hard time qualifying it as a bad episode, because the whole point of a TV episode is that it's got to be fun to watch. If the science doesn't agree, that doesn't make it, I mean, that might make it it'll take points away, but as long as it's fun to watch, I don't really, that's the most important thing. And that's the problem with Discovery. It's not fun to watch. I mean, yeah, the math and the science and the cursing and the ridiculous decapitated baby heads and things like that, those don't help either. But if you had a fun to watch episode that happened to have a decapitated baby head, I wouldn't be complaining. Wesley says, Anti-Trigger, we should do an all-out battle before we stop the rented server. John DeMarco says, some of the later Borg episodes are probably worse than Threshold. Yeah, could be. Godspeed says, Bird of Prey, Neelix reminds me of my great uncle, so I have a soft spot for him. Well, Godspeed, your great uncle's probably feel insulted if you've told him that. Hakeem says you are pronouncing it right. Thank you, Hakeem. Anti-Trigger says Wesley, agreed. Shonmore says, greetings, Bird of Prey, Mama Prey, and fellow nerds. Greetings, Shonmore. Godspeed says, Bird of Prey, do you think Orville could become a franchise? Yeah, I think the Orville universe could become a franchise. Will it? That's a bigger if. It could be. I would say certainly we might see Orville comics or Orville fan fiction, short stories, fan movies that don't take place on the Orville, but are in the Orville universe. I think so. Will we get actual multiple Orville television shows or Orville-based Hulu streaming seasons? That don't take place on the Orville? I'd say it's not looking good, okay? If Orville had taken off in popularity, right? If Orville was to the normies, what Stranger Things is, or even House of Cards was back in the day before Kevin Spacey came out for the things he allegedly did. Maybe. But Orville, as much as I love Orville, it is not a healthiest show. It is a show that is, marginally making it. And that is still far better than Discovery is actually doing. And the politics of Disney and Fox, they are definitely conspiring against the show. But I love it. I love the Orville. I don't know if it'll ever be a franchise. I hope it does. And Shromore says, and greetings to Sassy, chaser of cats, eater of cookies, stalker of cardinals, defiler of cushions, and scourge of the squirrels. Sassy is asleep. Sassy's asleep. Sassy's pretending to be Auntie. Peter Quinn says 15 minutes behind then, Bird of Prey. Yeah, actually 20 minutes now. Huh. How'd I get worse? Captain Redneck says everything Burnham does is epic. If you question that, you're a woman-hating racist. I agree. Definitely. Well, obviously, I'm a woman-hating racist. Almost said the wrong word there. But I'm a white male, so obviously that's true. Shronwar says no notification. Turtistan have been censoring YouTube again. I guess YouTube just gets used to the time I stream, and if I stream at another time, like, what's going on here? He's streaming at the wrong time. No notifications. Wesley says, hit that like button. Friends of Bird, thank you. Yes, guys, please hit the like button if you enjoy it. And if you don't enjoy it, tell me what you dislike. Peter Quinn says, Cisco's Captain's Log is the best episode. Cisco's Captain's Log? You mean In a Pale Moonlight? Because, yeah, I'll be honest. That is probably going to be my top 5, top Deep Space Nine episode. It will certainly be in the top 5. There's so many deep. It's going to be really, really hard to narrow down Deep Space Nine to 5. But In the Pale Moonlight, geez, if it's not first, it's going to be in the top 5. And bottom 5, yeah, probably Move Along Home will be in the bottom 5. So you guys, I mean, you guys already know that, okay? Going in, you know one of each already. Peter Quinn says, woohoo is sex. I understood what it was, Peter. Yes, having sex. I understood. Peter Quinn says, Godspeed, you're here. Yeah, Godspeed. It's cool for you to show up. We don't see you too often, but maybe I've been streaming too late. Since I'm streaming earlier today. Godspeed says, Bird of Prey, I describe TOS as acting. Captain Redneck says, agreed 100%, Mr. Lundell. I'm sorry, how did I skip Mr. Lundell? Mr. Lundell says, why in the blue hell are people still wasting time and money on STD? The only way they're going to get decent Trek is to stop watching and reviewing substandard Trek we're getting. Well, we review it to get YouTube subscribers, to be quite frank. I mean, Star Trek Discovery launched the YouTube careers of Anti-Trekker, of Doomcock. Nerdrotic owes a lot of his success to it. Mecha switched over. Certainly between Discovery and the Star Wars. So many YouTubers, found fame, to be quite honest. Maybe not fame, but enough of a following to make a living, whether a second job or a primary job. It gets a lot of views. It gets a lot of hits. Now, as long as we're not paying for it, I will grant you that will ultimately stop it. And the best thing we could hope for, I think, at this point, is for CBS to realize, hey, there's more money in old Trek, and like an oil well that you thought was tapped out, but actually you go back years later and there's still a lot more oil in it. I think they got to go back and they can re-tap Deep Space Nine and Voyager and release the HD versions of those episodes. And, they can make a bunch more money again. And I'll be honest, listen, I hope that all of the Trek series continue to remain on Netflix, on Hulu, and, all the other streaming services. Amazon. But if CBS All Access became the only place to see, maybe they don't, because I think CBS, they probably get a good money from selling rights to the other Star Trek series to the Netflixes, the Amazons, and the Hulus. But if CBS All Access was the exclusive place where you could see Deep Space Nine in HD and Voyager in HD, I would subscribe to CBS All Access. That would be just about the only thing. And not only would I subscribe to CBS All Access, I would have to maintain a subscription to CBS All Access. Because, like, when Discovery's on, I play back between 2 or 3 free accounts, free trials, and okay, Discovery's over, I'm done. Okay, but well, between Discovery and, personally for me, Twilight Zone remake, which I love to hate. That's it. That's 2 or 3 months of television, and I don't have to worry about CBS All Access for the rest of the year. But if they had the HD Deep Space Nine, if they had HD Voyager, if they were the only sources for those, even if they kept HD TOS and TNG on Netflix and Amazon and Hulu, I would have a CBS All Access account right now. Because there are times I just put on Deep Space Nine and watch, and I would totally want access to those HD versions, and they'd be worth the $5, $6, $10 a month for a CBS All Access subscription to me. So don't tell them that. In one respect, I don't want you to tell them that because I don't want to be paying them $10 a month. But on the other respect, I would gladly pay $10 a month to HD, DS9, and Voyager, and all the other Treks. I'd do it. I would. They've got me. They don't even have to make Discovery. They don't have to make Picard. Those would just be, icing. Not even icing. I think Discovery would be like, dog shit on a cake. So forget Discovery. Don't even put Discovery. Picard could go either way, but yeah, they're not icing. They're like the rotten fruit you pick off. The cake tastes good, but somebody put a rotted out strawberry on top. So you're like, if I cut about, I don't know, 1/4 inch into the icing around the strawberry, that should get enough of the rotted strawberry off, and you got a pretty good chance of eating the cake without developing salmonella or something. Captain Redneck agreed with Mr. Lundell. Wesley says, Anti-Trekker, Bird of Prey, a battle so large the server blows up and then we stop renting. Well, Wes, I think Anti-Trekker, if you want to fight, we can, but I don't have a battleship ready nearly as close as you do. So if we want to battle, it would be the Bird of Prey versus the Goliath 2 or whatever it is you're calling your ship these days. Marlena Monroe says, Qapla, Marlena. Joseph says, Qapla. Wesley says, all TOS are bad episodes. 1, 2, 3. Here comes the bricks with hate letters on them. No. Captain Redneck says, bag. Bach. I think that's Klingon. Bach. Peter Quinn says, reactivated after lying inactive for several hundred years. A backup version of the Doctor tries to uncover Bird of Prey 5. The truth about war crimes supposedly committed by Voyager when they passed the planet centuries ago. Yes. Thank you, Peter. I remember. Marlena says, Wesley, Tantalus Field in 3, 2, Devil Ears, Devil Face. John DeMarco says, not top 5, though. Living Witness, I thought was a good episode. I don't recall how did it mess up canon for the future. Well, I explained it. But in short, for those who weren't here, it's 800 years in the future, and we're supposed to believe the Federation or anybody in the Alpha Quadrant can't make it to the Delta Quadrant on a regular basis. That somehow the Delta Quadrant, the Alpha Quadrant, are still too distant from each other to have communications of any type, which is just ridiculous. Peter Quinn says, Living Witness was a great take on Mirror Universe episode. You know, that's actually not bad. I mean, like, if there was a Mirror Universe Voyager, it would probably be the warship Voyager, and it would probably be a lot like Living Witness. Honestly, a Mirror Universe Voyager would probably be a better show. Right? I mean, you just have the Federation ship well, it wouldn't be called the Federation, it'd be called the Empire. An Empire ship get beamed in the middle of the Delta Quadrant, and they do everything the opposite of Voyager. They just start taking over. Like, every race they come to, they enslave. And they're starting their own empire. And Janeway appoints herself Empress. And they're like, they start with enslaving the Qapla and the Kazons. And now the Kazons and the Qapla have to work together to try and win their freedom. But of course, Tuvok is too smart for them, and he's always stopping them at every turn. And people are running to the Borg for help in the Mirror Universe. Whole planets are trying. They go to the Borg and beg to be assimilated because they'd rather become Borg and become subjects of the Terran Empire. So that would be a pretty cool Mirror Universe. Schroenmore says, Bird of Prey always believed the Doctor was in the Mirror Universe. Voyager Museum was on a mirror ship, and the events happened as described. The Doctor brings Fed crime values and changes it. That's a good way of looking at it. Although I still don't like that there's no communication 800 years later. Peter Quinn, that's how it should have taken it, Mirror Universe. Yeah, that's not bad at all, Peter. Miss Lindell says in 800 years they should be able to open up wormholes. They should be able to open up wormholes. They should have distant communication. They honestly should be able to get from the Alpha Quadrant to the Delta Quadrant in, 2 or 3 weeks at worst, and goddamn probably near instant at best. Hell, in 800 years they should have figured out how the frickin' Iconian gateways work, and they should just be able to walk between worlds. Godspeed says, Bird of Prey. Wouldn't the Discovery be constantly getting lost since all their maps are out of date, and they cannot hook up to a present Federation tech? Being primitive, they can't find their way around. Oh, Godspeed. They have 100,000 years of probe data, right? I believe. They think they still have it. Or certainly a good portion of it. So I think with 100,000 years of data, they can extrapolate where the stars are going to be. Stars don't move all that much. And the relative positions of stars don't change all that much in 950 years. I'm quite confident that after maybe a day of replotting courses, this computer can figure out where they are. Now, they won't have intel, right? I mean, they won't have the intel as to what might have changed. So a planet that might have been previously uninhabited might have a giant civilization on it. But I figure the first time they meet up with a galactic power, whoever they happen to be, they probably, trade them some star charts for I don't know, mushrooms. I don't know what Discovery has to trade with, but you want to. Never mind. Not gonna say it. John DeMarcus is odd. I'm defending a Voyager episode. Perhaps its 800 years of Federation has changed so much that it isn't recognizable to aliens as being connected to Voyager. No. I'm sorry. If Earth exists in 800 years, they're going to know who they were. I'm not sure, but didn't the Federation already make contact and establish that Voyager was in the Delta Quadrant by the time of this episode? If they didn't, if at the time of this episode... No, you see, it doesn't matter. Because the Federation does find that Voyager is in the Delta Quadrant. So even if something happened that Voyager doesn't make it home, the Federation knows that Voyager was in the Delta Quadrant. So 100, 200, 400 years later, when they can get to the Delta Quadrant, they're going to send a ship to find out, hey, whatever happened to Voyager. I mean, hell, they send ships in TOS and TNG to find out what happened to ships that were sent decades or centuries earlier. So surely they're going to send ships to look for Voyager if they don't come home. Shromore says in 800 years, Neelix may have cooked one good meal. Yeah. Wesley says in 800 years, they should be able to open Windows 2000 without it crashing. Miss Londell says the episode Living Witness has more to do with revisionist history. Oh, yes. I mean, in that respect, aside from its destruction of future canon, it's a good episode. And I'll be honest, it's it really takes a lot like the episode where the Doctor thinks that 7 and 9 was violated, and the guy ends up killing himself over a false accusation. This episode, Living Witness, actually takes aim at the oppressed, right? Because at Living Witness, the people who were oppressed for so long, they were the ones in the wrong in this episode, right? I mean, if you're going to say it was Earth, take your favorite group of oppressed people, whether it be race, religion, or sexual orientation, but they've been oppressed for so long, they got so much power, they're teaching their kids their revision, their history, and it turns out that they've been wrong all along, right? It was never as they demonized the other side so much. It turns out they were the ones that were wrong. Does it matter in the end? Somewhat. Discovery's doctor said the truth doesn't matter. Discovery's doctor, excuse me. Voyager's doctor was willing to forget history and think I'm wrong to prevent violence. But man, the injustice that would have led to is that the oppressed would have been holding the truth over the oppressors, the previous oppressors, even though they hadn't been oppressed really in centuries, and it would have just, they'd love to have their victim card, and Discovery doctor, Voyager's doctor, robbed them of their victim card, basically. Captain Redneck says in 800 years, women will still get paid less. Wesley says, Captain Redneck, that's because no one gets paid in 800 years in the future. And Peter Quinn says, Aircon is far more useful in the U.S. Aircon? And Yosef with his €2 super chat about me looking like a hippie. Thank you, Yosef. Ms. Lundell says 7 and 9's journey in discovering her humanity was probably the most interesting arc of the entire Voyager series. Yeah, there's not a hell of a lot of arcs. It's gonna seem corny. But I actually like seeing Naomi Wildman grow up. I mean, not grow up, but from a baby to a kid. And God knows how, I don't know how, but she is one of the only little kids of that age I did not find incredibly annoying. Probably because she was so often paired with Neelix. And Neelix always took as most annoying character on the screen. That even Naomi Wildman was less annoying than Neelix. I actually think Naomi Wildman was one of the best played kids in the Star Trek franchise. Younger, not even, because like Jake and Nog, they were young teens. While Naomi was a baby at the beginning of the, early in the series. Peter Quinn says, Season 1, Episode 17, TOS, you can see Uhura wearing red knickers. Okay. Cinnabon Bunny says, hello, welcome Cinnabon. Cheryl Moore says, don't forget to switch to live chat and hit that like button. Thank you. Godspeed says, bird of prey, bird language, apologize to your mom. What did I say? Mom's asleep. She's nappy. I don't know what I have to apologize for. Godspeed. Oh man, the head hurts when I cough. The head hurts when I cough. Oh, where are we? How far behind am I in chat? I'm a ways behind. Okay, guys, give me a minute. I'm going to put on some commercials. I'll be right back, and we'll try to get through chat a little bit faster. I'm actually feeling a bit better, but the coughing causes the head to hurt. Be right back.
Jeans and tops from Sears are spring wardrobe essentials on sale this week. First, jeans that fit just $10.99. They fit your shape as well as your size. And you save $5. Add the all-cotton top, now just $6.99. Cool comfort and perma-press too, and you save $3. Jeans in western and cinch waist, tops in stripes and solids. These wardrobe essentials are on sale through Saturday at Sears, where America shops for value.
Jordache has the fit that's right. The Jordache look. The Jordache look.
You're feasting your eyes on the 6-meal cake. Streusel Swirl from Pillsbury. Meal number 1, a fancy feast for your company. Number 2, a yummy dessert for your kids. 3, a breakfast cake to make you forget coffee cake. 4, a lunchbox cake that doesn't all stick to the wrapping. 5, the best break a coffee break ever had. 6, dessert the second night, still firm and fresh. Streusel Swirl, the sensational 6-meal cake.
The Jordan Marsh Super Sale is on.
Super!
This is the place for spectacular store-wide savings.
Super!
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday only. Save 25 to 50% on selected fashions, accessories, housewares, and more.
Super!
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. 3 days of sizzling savings of 25 to 50%. The Super Sale at Jordan Marsh.
Those are good prices. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I thought I had to randomize those commercials, but I guess not. Man, it is dark in here. No, I'm fine. Wesley says, haha, scary stories with Bird of Prey 5 in the dark. Captain Redneck says, yes, it's not a Warp 10 barrier, it's a threshold. But they call it a barrier. Mr. Lundell says, Peter Quinn, all the TOS era female officers wore red panties. Peter Quinn, how do you know that? Peter Quinn says, I love Captain Proton. Joseph says, we all come here for your looks and makeup tutorials. You can ask around, Bird of Prey. Well, I'm touched. Cinnabon says, is it just me or is it darker than usual? Yes, it's Cinnabon. It's darker because I had a migraine when I started. Right now, I'll be honest, the pain only hurts when I cough. So that's actually a marked improvement. Peter says, Mr. Lindell, I just noticed. I'll keep an eye out. Joseph says, many folks disagree about Discovery. Has beautiful cinematic visuals. Only the stories are a bit weak. I am sorry to hear about the mess in the writer's room. Joseph, if you call Discovery stories a bit weak, then that's like saying, what's not terribly offensive. Because all the examples that came to mind, I'll be honest, they're terribly offensive. That's like saying the Grand Canyon is a bit of a hole in the ground. Okay? Yeah. Star Trek Discovery's episodes are a bit weak, and Grand Canyon is a bit of a hole in the ground. Yes, I'm also sad about the mess in the writer's room, because I'll be honest, the writer who left seemed like he was probably the most competent of all the writers they ever had. Tiki of Doom says, Qapla, moody lighting today, Bird. Well, it wasn't meant to be moody. Although maybe we'll do a Ghost Stories episode one night. Wesley crushes his Bird of Prey. Orville already has a comic. Yes, but I meant a comic not based on the Orville. The ship, the Orville. Godspeed says, Bird of Prey. Stamets actor dropped all charges. Dropped charges against who? John DeMarco says, obviously I'm a woman-hating racist. Yes. Peter Quinn says, 17 likes. Thank you, Peter Quinn. Shrumore says, so sassy is sleep scourging the squirrels. Josh Street says, Bird of Prey, YouTube didn't like you streaming video twice yesterday. That's why no notifications today. That's probably true. Captain Redneck says, Pale Moonlight, that episode where Cisco admitted to being a criminal. Yes, Captain Redneck, that episode in the Pale Moonlight. Peter says, Bird of Prey, yeah, Pale Moonlight, awesome episode. Yosef says, in the Pale Moonlight, it's a fake. Miss Londell says, in the Pale Moonlight should be the best Trek episode of all time. I was thinking that once we're done with all the top 5 and bottom 5s of all the series, that it would then come down to the top 5 Trek episodes of all time. So presumably I would think of the first 2 or so, top 3 of all the other prior series, and try to figure out of them which were the best of the best. And yes, In the Pale Moonlight would probably be a contender for best of the best. But it would probably be the only DS9 episode in best of the best. John DeMarco says, picking just 5 DS9 episodes will be difficult. Oh, definitely. Godspeed says, Bird of Prey, Miles' depression episode was brilliant. I don't know. Brilliant? Could be. Peter Quinn says, yeah, Move Along Home was terrible, but was hilarious. Well, again, like Threshold, the first half, 15 minutes of Move Along Home, right until they actually ended up in the game, it wasn't a half bad episode. Peter Quinn says, Captain Redneck when he was more human and more relatable, Captain Redneck. Captain Redneck says, I didn't care for Pale Moonlight. I don't know why it's a fan favorite. Because it's Captain Mother Effin' Cisco. Godspeed says, Bird of Prey, worst TS9 and Moraine. Well, that is Move Along Home. Wesley Crusher says, Bird of Prey, I started watching Anti-Tricker because Lore mentioned him and the Good Borg episode. I started watching you because Anti-Tricker. Well, very cool, Wes. Now you'll have to start watching somebody I mentioned. But I hope you still watch me. Peter Quinn says, I wonder what Disney will be plus UK channel. What will Disney Plus be on a UK channel? Godspeed says, Bird of Prey STD is on my Netflix, so it's all Trek. So is all Trek. Yes, well, you're outside the United States, so that's true. And Canada. You're in Europe, so all Trek is on Netflix for now. But next year, Picard won't be on Netflix, so you'll have a little bit of what we feel. Peter Quinn says, "Oops." Godspeed says, Peter. What should they do? Are planning it. Captain Redneck says, I won't give CBS any money, especially not their stupid all-access service. Well, I'm not giving them any money, Captain Redneck. I canceled it. I paid for 1 month of CBS All Access in the last 2 years. And I canceled it as soon as Twilight Zone was over. And I, honestly, at this point, I don't... Alexander's in the house with a $2 Canadian Super Chat. Says, hi, everybody except Captain Vomit. How are you? I'm good, Alexander. But let's, I told you guys, I don't care. Just don't disrupt the stream. Don't disrupt the stream. You guys are adults. I'm not gonna intervene so much. Yeah, as for CBS All Access, I canceled it as soon as I could. And I wouldn't give them money again. I don't anticipate having to give them money again. However, if they had HD, DS9, and Voyager, I would. I would, because that would actually be content worth paying for. All that other stuff wouldn't even be necessary. I mean, it'd be nice to have in case I ever wanted to watch something, although I can't imagine what it would be. Godspeed, says Bird of Prey. I would like to see DS9 CGI scenes remade to modern quality and keeps physical the same. Yeah, well, they shot DS9 in 35mm. So the scenes were shot that they could have been shown in widescreen format. And then they were cut down to 4:3. And then they were, transferred to, whatever media that they broadcast television off of. But they were shot on 35mm. So Deep Space Nine can be a legit HD widescreen program if they air it like that. And I think they should. Shronmore, it's a fake! His son is Jake! It's a rake! It's a rake? That doesn't really make any sense. Cinnabon says, Anti-Trigger, are you going to have to wipe the server before everyone moves over? That's a good question. Peter Quinn says, I'm thinking about Hulu, Godspeed. Well, Hulu I thought is only available in the United States. Shronmore says, it's a Drake! Captain Redneck says, get that rake! To the lake! You fake! Then eat some cake, but mind the break. Okay, now the voice is being strained. Captain Redneck says, Empress Janeway, I'll drink to that. Captain Redneck, I think you might have a little bit of the hots for Janeway. I'm just saying. Peter Quinn says, NCC 74654. How'd you know my PIN code? Live with Matthew says, oh no, I didn't get notification today. Apparently, Live with Matthew, nobody did. Nobody did. And Live with Matthew, if you get back into Space Engineers, your mining ship, it's still there and it's intact, but it got disconnected from the base somehow and flung halfway across the lake. I tried to move it back, but I don't have access to the thrusters, so I can't turn them on. So if you want to come in and move your mining ship so it's connected again to the base, that would be cool. So when we copy over the base to the new server, it can come with. Because if it's connected, it'll be considered part of the base. And if you want to give access, and maybe you don't want anybody else to drive your ship, which, believe me, I get it. That's absolutely fine if that's your choice. But if it was accidental, you can give thruster control to the faction. And then I'll be able to park it. I promise I won't take it out, because I can't promise that I won't destroy it. And Alexander with a $2 Canadian Super Chat says, MCU Aunt May naked. This is what we all want. I wouldn't be opposed. I wouldn't be opposed to Marissa Tomei naked. Believe me. No, I'd be fine with it. There's probably others I'd put ahead of her. But I certainly wouldn't be opposed. Tiki of Doom, I'm listening to Bird of Prey at 2x speed to catch up. He sounds caffeinated. It's actually a pretty good idea. Because I'll be honest, if you're not watching me live, you should definitely be watching me at 1.5x speed. Because I am a 1.25x minimum. Because I am a slow talker. I know I am. It's just, I've always been. And people say, oh, it's like he's strung out on weed, he's talking slow. No, believe me, never, ever, ever had weed. Ever. Okay, I've smelt it a few times on people. Might have been around somebody smoking it, but that was it. Never tried it, never wanted to try it, still don't want to try it. So it's not weed, that's just my natural rhythms of the brain. I'm a slow talker. So if I could set YouTube to play my videos at 1.25x speed by default, I would. Welcome back, Sassy Dog. Sassy was outside for a while. She's gracing us with her presence. Sassy, the window light, it's going right in my eyes. Peter Quinn says living witness is people's perception, bird of prey. Yes. Miss Lindell says bird of prey 7 of 9, set up stellar cartography lab. So map making and updating them would be no problem. Yes. Dan23 says, hey, welcome Dan23. I know I'm a ways behind. Thomas says, of course the Federation knows. Remember 7 of 9 crazy conspiracy theory episode. Yeah, that one. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know where that one would lie. Probably in neither. Probably in the middle. Dan23 says there's an episode of Voyager where the Admiral states that he sent 2 deep spaceships to Voyager's coordinates. Is there? That doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm not saying it's not true. Were they ships or were they probes? Lightwood Matthews says Dan23 sounds like something Admiral Paris would say. Thomas says, I don't care for living witness. Where the hell was the other doctor from? Never mentioned the backup file before or after. Not only never mentioned, Thomas, it was specifically mentioned that they couldn't make a backup copy of the doctor. Right? If they could have made a backup copy of the doctor, they could have sent the doctor to the Alpha Quadrant and not been so worried when he didn't come back. They could have had the copy of the doctor, treating people while the other copy was in the Alpha Quadrant saving the Prometheus. And then when they came back, they could have just merged their programs or something. There's so many places where a copy of the doctor would have came in handy. And more than once we're told that there's just not enough room, or for whatever the reason, the doctor's program couldn't be copied. So many times, the doctor's going to be destroyed if we do this wrong. God, man, if there was a backup this whole time, that would have killed the tension. And Living Witness, like I said, it's a good episode for a lot of reasons. So I don't think it's going to end up as a top 5 or a bottom 5. But if I was going to put it in my bottom 5, it's going to be for committing the greatest sin any Star Trek episode can commit, in my opinion, or second greatest. First greatest is just not being a fun episode to watch. But the second greatest is not being consistent with your own canon. Okay? If you're not consistent with canon from another series, right? Especially if that series was made in 1960. And in 1995 or whatever, you're not canon with it. I don't like it, but I can understand. But if you can't even maintain your own canon from season to season or even episode to episode, and that's the cardinal sin of Discovery, along with the fact that the writing just sucks. And the episodes suck, and the acting sucks. But the fact that they can't be consistent with even their own canon, even their own storylines, from one episode to the next, they completely contradict themselves. That would be a tremendous downvote for me on Living Witness, is the whole Doctor backup. But it's just the one thing, I'll be honest. There's 2 things wrong with the episode The Doctor backup is the only contradiction in canon. And the fact that there's no contact between the Federation and this planet 800 years later, while not technically a canon violation, it's just a very crappy prediction, a very crappy future. Because I'll be honest, it is canon now. I mean, until Discovery rewrites it. For now, it's totally canon that somewhere in the 800 years post-Voyager, or even well before, the galaxy never advances to the point that there's one race that transverses the galaxy as easily as they transverse, nearby star systems today. I mean, by 800 years, they really should be going to other galaxies like they go to other planets. And Alexander with another $2 Canadian Super Chat says, Peak Performance is my favorite episode in TNG. Peak Performance? What's Peak Performance? I'll be honest, Lower Decks is probably going to be... it certainly will be an honorable mention, if not one of the top 5s. Peak. I feel like an idiot. I don't know what Peak Performance is. But there are just so many TNG and DS9 episodes. Oh, the one with the... yeah. Okay, so Peak Performance is the strategist comes on board, and Riker is put in charge of a shitty ship. And Wesley cheats by bringing his science fair experiment on board that happened to have, a little bit of antimatter, because of course, in the Next Generation, we give antimatter to school children to do experiments with, because it's not like antimatter could possibly destroy the entire ship if it got loose somehow. As smart as Wesley is, I don't know that we should be trusting antimatter to school kids or even ensigns. I don't think he was even an ensign yet at that point. Peter Quinn is going to log off. Take care, Peter, and good night, Peter. I'm glad you were able to make it for at least a little bit of time. Actually, you were here quite a while. I'm going a lot longer than I thought I would. I'm feeling better. I'm feeling quite a bit better, so thank you, guys. You helped. You all did. Cinnabon says they should do a series about those 2 ships all pissed off headed back home. Captain Redneck says, Dan23, that was a fake message designed to fool... Right! That's right. Yes, that was a fake message. That was the alien that was trying to lure Voyager because his whole race had been destroyed by the Borg, and he was going to get... vengeance on Voyager because Voyager helped the Borg defeat Species 8472, and his race was hoping that Species 8472 would kick Borg ass, because that was the only thing stopping the Borg from taking over their planet. Very weird episode. Their planet had transwarp technology. Why didn't they just frickin' leave? Why didn't they go somewhere else? Right? He had a ship that could have got them home in, I don't know, a short amount of time. He had tremendous technology. There are so many ways Voyager, Janeway could have handled things differently to get them home so much faster. So yes, it was said by, I don't know if it was Admiral Paris, but it was said by an admiral, but it was a fake. It was a fake message. Absolutely. Very good catch. Very good catch, Dan. Oh, very good catch, Captain Redneck. Excuse me. Miss Londell says Naomi Wildland was one of 7 of 9's teachers. That is true. Joseph says Naomi had excellent scenes with 9 to 5. I mean, 7 of 9. Peter Quinn says 20 likes now. Captain Redneck says Naomi Wildman was on the Reba TV show. I never heard of it. Tiki Doom can't beat those practices. And Wesley wants the cake. Yeah, those commercials. I thought I had randomized them, but I guess you guys got the same order as last time. Peter Quinn says the dist ep the dist ep of Voyager has to be the red shirt dream bird of prey. Half of Janeway's crew is killed and half of Chakotay's crew too. The first episode of Voyager. The first episode of Voyager has to be the red shirt dream. Half of Janeway's crew is killed and half of Chakotay's too. And Wesley Crusher says the cake is a lie. I was also thinking, top 5 is too many. But I was thinking also, and Anti-Trek, if you're still here, I invite you to do this. Instead of doing best and worst, rate every Star Trek premiere episode and Star Trek finale episode. So 2 different videos. One for the all Star Trek finales, or Star Trek premieres in best to worst order, or worst to best order, and then Star Trek final episodes, best to worst order. And I would include Orville in it too. As best, because as first, because it won't. Realistically, we won't know the last episode of Orville, hopefully, by the time we get to these. So that'll be some interesting thing. Yes, the cake is a lie. Peter Quinn says, or competition winners, says Bird of Prey. Tiki Doom says, the bird extra swarthy lighting, lol. Josh Reed says, the thing we used to wear back in the day. What were we thinking? The things we used to wear back in the day. It seems like it's getting definitely darker in here. And Alexander again with a $2 Canadian super chat. Why not do the 5 top average episodes? Alexander, the 5 top that doesn't even make sense, man. If they're average episodes, it'd be the 5 most average episodes. It wouldn't be top episodes. As to why not doing the 5 average episodes, well, because it's basically just be 5 random episodes that I neither hate nor love. Which, I'll be honest, isn't the worst thing, and maybe after we gotten through all the others, that it could just be 5 episodes I haven't mentioned yet, but I want to. I'll be honest, I laughed at that suggestion at first, but the more it rattles around my mind, the less crazy it seems, Alexander. Shroudmore says, before STD, Luxwana Troy was the only truly awful, annoying main or recurring character. Neelix was only irritating. Actually, Shroudmore, I didn't mind Luxwana in most episodes. I really didn't. Wesley says Discovery stories are weak. It's like saying Bird of Prey can fly spaceships. Gotta be mean. Godspeed says Bird of Prey. Stamets actor is the guy who accused Kevin Spacey of grape. Yes. Well, he didn't drop charges. The actor didn't drop the charges. The state dropped the charges. They couldn't find enough evidence to even bring it to trial. So there's a difference. Yes. Joseph Patrick says Tiki of Doom, a new word learned, thanks. Tiki says, lol, nice. Captain Redneck says best Star Trek episode ever. Sub Rosa. I hate it, but I gotta check it up. I have Sub Rosa. Is that an actual Star Trek episode? It is. Which episode is that? Next Generation. The Enterprise visits Kados 4 to enable Dr. Beverly Crusher to attend the funeral of her grandmother. It's the episode where Dr. Crusher falls in love with a ghost. and an Irish or Scottish man. I'm sorry, Godspeed, if you're here. I don't know what accent they were going for, but he's like, yeah, I won't be responsible if you have to destroy that candle. I won't be held responsible. Well, who the hell are you? Why the hell would you be responsible for a ghost taking advantage of Crusher women? First, how the hell are there even Crusher women? Wouldn't the name be changed? I mean, as far as we know, in human, because Beverly Crusher took the name of her husband. We know that. We know that her husband was also Crusher. So Beverly Crusher took her husband's name, and Wesley Key has the Crusher name too. So in the future, we believe that the tradition of women taking the name of the men they marry somehow still exists. Hello?
Welcome to Bank of America. This is the notice.
We don't have any accounts with Bank of America. So that tradition is alive and well. So this ghost, or this guy saying the Crusher women, there's no such thing as Crusher women. She would have some type of maiden name, and that would be whatever her maiden name was. Maybe I'm misremembering, but I'm pretty sure the ghost says Crusher women. It was a Scotch man with an Irish accent, and I smell offensive. I'm sorry, Godspeed. Alexander with another $2 Canadian super chat. We want top 5 episodes where number 1 eats a burger. There's only one episode that I know of, but maybe we'll have some super chats. You know what? As much as I don't like Discovery, I am kind of.
You have communications with Starfleet Command, Captain.
And you got the NX-01 there, Alexander. I'm kind of looking forward to the Pike number 1 Spock short tracks. Now, if past performance is any indication of future results, and I know every investing commercial tells you specifically that it's not, but what else do we have to base it on? The short tracks coming up will be god awful, because the 4 short tracks we have already average out to be even worse than all the other Discovery episodes put together. There is one short track that is marginally okay. One short track that is like bad but not offensively bad. And 2 short tracks that are not only bad but incredibly bad. So like the average short track is somehow even below the average Discovery episode. So future short tracks, they're not promising. And John Araki with a $2 American super chat says top 5 anti-Trekker bullying activities. Yes, John Araki. The top 5 anti-Trekker being a jerk bullying video. I like it. I like it a lot. Thank you. First, every time he starts the stream with the supposed video of me crying, which we all know is not me crying, but me clearing soot out of my eyes. That's number 1. Alexa, stop! I gotta just do something real quick, guys. I'm not leaving. I just have to. That was a reminder. If I hadn't clicked on something, I gotta click on something. There we go. Okay. Done. Yeah. So definitely him video where he claims I cry. That's number 1. Number 2. Well, I don't want to give them all away. But number 2 is misrepresenting me as an evil dictator. I'm not evil at all. I'm a beloved dictator. So that's number 2. Captain Redneck said, "Oh yeah, Sub Rosa." I assume that was a joke. Cinnabon says top 5 continuity errors in each series. Oh, that would be a tough one. I like it though. I do like it, Cinnabon. Joseph says, Wesley, what cake? Cellular peptide cake with mint frosting. Godspeed says, Peter Quinn, your queen blocked the deal. No Brexit. Oh, your queen blocked the no Brexit deal? The queen can do that? And Peter says, yeah, I heard Godspeed, but the EU haven't. That's interesting. Dan23 says, Voyager episodes like Admiral Hayes, we've detected 2 deep space vessels to your position. If all goes well, they could rendezvous with you in the next 5 to 6 years. Yeah, that was the fake message. Tiki of Doom says, lol, drama. Yeah. We got a retracted... Okay, I'm not going to read the retracted messages. Live with Matthew says, drama llama. No, this is drama alpacas. Drama alpacas. Godspeed says, I have Prime. Man in the High Castle is effing disappointing. I certainly enjoyed the first 2 seasons of Man in the High Castle. Since then, it's been so-so, but I've still watched. Dan23 says, yeah, in the UK, Discovery is on Netflix, and Picard show will be on Amazon. Yeah. Joseph says, no, please, no politics, no drama. I'm staying out of it. Captain Redneck, dude, that N-word could get bird flagged. Well, it could get him flagged is really the biggest problem. I wouldn't want Captain Redneck's account to be deleted. And I've said this before. Guys who were here know it at the time. I still have. He's still a good friend. My good friend Zethon posted 4 words as a joke in my chat, and I can't repeat them. I can't type them, but 4 words, 3 of which were completely harmless, but 1 word and the combination thereof. Not only did nobody reported him, but within about 30 seconds of him typing these 4 words, the YouTube algorithm deleted his entire account, and he had dozens, if not hundreds of videos. Granted, they were 5 years old, but tons of videos. He had a freaking podcast. He did 8 years of a podcast. He had the videos for most of them on his YouTube channel. Deleted immediately because he typed 4 words. And they weren't serious, and objectively everybody would say they knew it was a joke, but it was something you're not allowed to joke about. Deleted. And worse, when he filed the appeal, they denied the appeal. They said, we stand by our decision. Account deleted. Goodbye. Done. And he lost his account. He had to make a new account. So I don't want that to happen to any of you guys. So I beg you, please, I acknowledge YouTube is censoring us. But for the time being, it's YouTube's world. And we just live in it. So we got to do our best to not get hurt. I don't want to see you guys get hurt. I don't want to see my channel get hurt. But I don't want to see you guys get hurt. Now, as I've said before, this channel means a hell of a lot to me. A hell of a lot to me. But I don't feed my family off of it. I don't pay my mortgage off of it. So, Anti-Trekker does. So, Anti-Trekker has to be 10 times more protective of his channel than I am. So that is why I will let some things go that Anti-Trekker doesn't. It's not that he has different sensibilities. I think we have pretty close to the same sensibilities. I'm just willing, to be honest, I'm willing to play a little bit more dangerously. but only a little bit, because if this channel went away tomorrow, I'd be pissed, I'd be depressed, I'd be angry, but my family isn't going to be, on the street because of it. I don't have children, right? I have Mom O'Prey, I love her. I have Sassy. Sister O'Prey has her own life. This is, the money helps. The money definitely helps. The super chat money, the advertising, the few bucks it brings in. Don't get me wrong, it all helps, but it's not paying the mortgage, and I have more freedom. I have more freedom than Anti-Tracker does.
I'm like your child. I depend on you.
Mom O'Prey says she depends on me. She is.
I do.
She does. She honestly does. You guys know I've talked about this. I had a really good job before I got sick, and part of that good job's benefits was a private disability insurance, and I didn't even know I had it, but I did. And when I became disabled, my company worked with my family, and I got the private disability benefits started before I even got out of the hospital. And thank God, because without it, we would be on, well, I don't know about on the street, but we would have lost the house. I wouldn't be able to pay my mortgage, and probably we would have had to move a long time ago, and we'd be depending on the charity of family. Because Social Security doesn't pay enough. Doesn't pay enough to cover my expenses, even though I'm entitled to quite a bit of Social Security. For New York City, it doesn't come close. And even for elsewhere in the country, it might get me a one-bedroom apartment or a two-bedroom apartment, but I have a lot of other expenses we pay out of pocket that isn't covered by insurance. So, thankfully, the private disability insurance, godsend, God's honest godsend. It made an intolerable situation just barely tolerable. Dan 23 says, I've seen YouTube clips dated 9 years ago of DS9 HD footage. Yeah, that I did realize, and I saw this on another YouTube channel, that one part of the HD footage that they used in the documentary, What We Left Behind, specifically the battle footage, was actually HD footage they licensed or I don't know, whatever, but they took from the internet. That was some guy made it, and he put it on YouTube years and years ago. He upconverted, or he re-rendered one of the battle scenes in HD. And it looks freaking amazing. But that is actually an HD battle scene that has been out for years and years and years. And they put it on the What We Left Behind documentary in with all the other HD footage that they also had upconverted. So they kind of cheated. They kind of cheated, but it doesn't matter. It was still a good documentary. Captain Redneck says, I got rid of the Godspeed. Thank you, I guess. I don't know what it was, but thank you. Light with Matthew says, oh yeah, it was me looking for what was making noise. I found what was making noise. Inside the Lagmore, I cut through a wall, and there were dozens of gyroscopes rattling around that had come loose. And they were just rattling around the inside of the Lagmore. And I grinded them down and the noise stopped. Yes. Godspeed called Captain Redneck a good man. Life with Matthew says, I grant access. I don't know. It had it limited. Thank you. Lowell, do whatever you like with it. Well, I don't want it destroyed, and I'm not sure I know how to fly it. Captain Redneck says the old lady Aunt May. Well, the Teresa Tomei, because Alexander says he wants to see Aunt May naked. MCU Aunt May is Marissa Tomei. She's old, but she's not like 80 old. She's like, I don't know, 50? 48 old? 50? She went to my high school. Not at the same time, but we both went to Edward R. Murrow High School in Brooklyn, New York. Marissa Tomei. Joseph says, I would not mind Alexander, but I think none of us has the power to do it. Godspeed says, Bird of Prey, how are you IR so slow? Want MTP grab your helmet? Godspeed, I don't have my English translation for that. The universal translator is broken. Wesley says, Bird of Prey, I will try to get on tonight to copy your stuff. Thanks, Wes. Godspeed says, Bird of Prey, it's after they make contact with Barclay for the first time. He says they sent 2 deep space vessels. Well, I think we've already established that was the fake message. Alexander says, Bird of Prey, they cannot copy Neelix 2. That's true. Although, anybody who's used the transporter, if they have the transporter pattern, they could copy them. Or we could have 2 Vicks. Cinnabon, Wesley, I think they should be a fresh start. You know, I half believe that, but supposedly the anti-trigger server is working so well that maybe it's not the worst thing to try. Dan23 says, Tom and Harry tried to make a copy of the Doctor. It was too unstable to hold, and medical knowledge. That's the same episode as Prometheus. Yes, that's the episode where they try to make a backup, and it just starts reciting that old book on anatomy, Gray's Anatomy. Just starts reading Gray's Anatomy when they activate them. Miss Lundell says, everyone seems to be grading Trek episodes on tech, science, more than actual story. All the science and tech should be backdrop. Absolutely. Wesley says, Cinnabon Bird was asking for his base and small ships. Yosef says, when Voyager was premiered, I liked it much more than DS9. Well, it started at DS9, so it counts. But 10 years later, I reconsider Voyager is actually very vanilla, since no drama is carried from episode to episode. Dan23 says, I think it's silly that the Doctor's program couldn't be transferred to other part of the ship before they got the mobile emitter. Yeah, that was weird, but certainly, even with the mobile emitter, you would think, fine, at the mobile emitter, you can have a copy of the program on the mobile emitter and a copy in medbay, sick bay, medbay. I've been playing too many space engineers. Medbay, sick bay, right? There's no reason that the doctor should be able to exist in sick bay, in the holodeck, and on the mobile emitter at the exact same time. And 3 different simultaneously running copies of the Doctor. And that's without even having any type of backup circuits. And if you say, well, maybe they wired in somehow the holodeck to sick bay so it can't run in both places at the same time, then fine. But it absolutely could run in sick bay and the mobile emitter completely separate. Godspeed says, Bird of Prey, imagine Doctor actually in Star Trek, lol. Dr. Akula in Star Trek. I don't know who Dr. Akula is. Dan23 says, I know it could be transferred to the holodeck. Peter is going to log off. I read that before, but thank you again, Peter, for hanging out. Peter says, good night, all. Godspeed says, Bird of Prey. The Doctor has changed his program. He is now a black, transgendered, fluid, non-binary, demigender, queer, disabled dwarf who don't need no man. It's possible. It is possible. Dan23 says they did make the Doctor into emergency command hologram. They absolutely did. John DeMarco says episodes like Living Witness can have continuity problems, but are still enjoyable on the story ideas. Yes. Yes. Shromore says Bird of Prey for Living Witness does not deserve a bottom 5. It does deserve honorable mention in the top 5 for the story and dishonorable mention in the bottom 5 for Crimes Against Canon. Yeah. That, I don't know if I had said it at the time, but it's very possible that episode could end up in both. Probably an honorable mention in both, more than an actual ranking. Cinnabon says, okay, it's up to you guys. Alexander says, Bird of Prey, the episode with the amazing actress Leslie Neal. I don't know actresses' names like that. What were you saying? Well, we'll come to it. Captain Rednex's Inner Light, probably the best Trek episode ever. You just said Sub Rosa was the best Trek episode ever. Yosef says Alexander was not a bad one. The anti-Trekker review, however, destroyed it a bit for me with the ensign actress comments. John DeMarco says, but on Disco you have canon problems and bad story ideas. Absolutely. Sean Moore says, Captain Redneck, I would agree with you. The Inner Light is one of, if not the best, episodes of Trek. And just to remind me, Inner Light. Inner Light. Star Trek. Captain Picard is struck unconscious. Oh, right. He lives a whole other lifetime. It was good. It was a good episode. I don't know. I don't know if it's certainly, I don't say this. It's not best all time in Star Trek for sure. I don't know if it's best in TNG. I'm not sure if it's top 5 TNG. But it's a good episode. I'd rate it as a better than average episode. That's all I can say. Dan23 says it's like when the Enterprise D finds a hole in space and says there's nothing like this on record before, and then fans remember something similar. Yes. Captain Redneck says Janeway can handle me at any time. I knew it. I knew it, Captain. Well, I guess I can't blame you then. John DeMarco says the fake messages were a Ferengi plot. The alien who wanted revenge was a different episode. Oh, Ferengi plot. Right, the Ferengi. Yes, that was a ridiculous one. Mr. Lundell says Janeway could have gotten them home faster, but she refused to even think of violating Federation principles. Thomas Potts says it wasn't all fake and the alien altered it wasn't all fake. The alien altered the message. I see what you're saying. Dan23 says Voyager is no match for the Hirogen in Season 4, but in Season 7, for some reason they are. Well, they have Borg upgraded weapons by Season 7. Captain Redneck says, Miss Lundell says both premieres and finales tend to suck. Well, I'll say All Good Things was a pretty good finale. What We Leave Behind was pretty good. Enterprise finale, garbage, definitely. TOS didn't have a proper finale. It was just the last episode of the season. It was never intending to be a finale, but it was a rather weak episode they ended on. Voyager Endgame. Hell, it wasn't entertaining. I mean, don't get me wrong. It raises all sorts of moral dilemmas, but as a purely entertaining episode, Endgame is probably one of my favorite Voyager episodes. What am I missing? TOS, TNG, DS9, Voyager, Enterprise. Yeah, that was all of them. So I don't know how I'd rank them, but Voyager Endgame would certainly be in the top 5 finales. I mean, it's not the worst. It's not the second from worst. Godspeed says, Bird of Prey, what race would you give the Ferengi treatment like they did? What race would you give the Ferengi the treatment like they did on DS9? Well, we learned about Andorians on Enterprise, but not a heck of a lot. I wouldn't mind learning more about Andorians, especially since they've been with us for quite a while, one of the founding races of the Federation. The Tellarites, they're just too ugly. I wouldn't mind learning about Tellarites, but honestly, they're too ugly to be on TV. I wouldn't want to see Tellarites all the time. And I know, like, well, Ferengi. Yeah, Ferengi are honestly more appealing than Tellarites. Just in that, they're not... The Tellarites look like, I don't know, furry monsters. The Ferengi just look like weird. So I'd say Andorian, number 1. Yeah, Andorian would be number 1. What other aliens? Well, Bajorans, we've learned a lot about Bajorans. Klingons, we've learned about Klingons. Romulans, honestly, Romulans could really be worked out some more. We don't know a hell of a lot about Romulans, but I'd say they're certainly one of the races we know more about than others. Vulcans have been pretty well explored, especially early Vulcans. Andorian, I don't give a shit about the Binars. I mean, I remember them, but I don't care. The Packlids would just be a headache because there's no way to make them fit into canon. Yeah, I'd have to say Andorian. I'll stick with Andorian. Captain Redneck says Enterprise probably had the best first episode and worst last episode. That is absolutely very possible, especially not counting STD. Wesley says, Bird of Prey, one time in science class, my antimatter experiment made a black hole and half the class died. And another time in science class, Wesley, your science experiment turned into self-replicating nanoprobes that became sentient and took over the ship. So, you gotta keep Wesley Crusher away from the science lab. He's a menace. It's probably a good thing the Traveler took you away. Joseph Petrick says, the best pilot episode was Enterprise without a doubt. Worst final episode was Enterprise without a doubt. It's possible. It's possible. Certainly worst final episode, yes, is Enterprise. Best first episode, yeah, I can't say. Enterprise has a very good first episode, but I don't know if I'd put it number 1. Dan23 says Bird of Prey peak performances with Enterprise D versus USS Hathaway in a simulated battle. Yes. Godspeed says top 5 elevator scenes, top 5 sitting scene, top 5 eating scenes. Pass, and pass. But thank you. Now, top 5 turbo lift scenes, possibility. Dan23 says, didn't TOS say a drop of antimatter could blow up a continent? Well, if they did, they were wrong. Shromore says, Bird of Prey, how about top 5 characters and worst 5? Very, very cool. Very cool, Shromore. That's absolutely one we should do. Top 5 characters, worst 5, main or recurring. Separate list of characters from one-off episodes. Yeah, I wouldn't put a one-off character. But a recurring or main character? Absolutely. Maybe top 5. I don't know if I'd want to do bottom 5 for those categories. But maybe top 5 main characters and top 5 recurring characters. For sure, and not worry about bottom 5. Maybe just bottom 5 characters of all time, regardless of whether they were main, recurring, or one-off. Captain Redneck says Sub Rosa was awful. Yes, I understood. I getcha. It was a joke. Dan23 says, is there an antimatter explosion at the end of TOS Obsession when they blow up the sticky sweet cloud? The sickly sweet cloud? I don't remember. Josh reaches Lowell Sub Rosa and he has to Google it. Well, I don't there were so many TNG episodes. John DeMarco says Sub Rosa was so bad you blocked it out. Joseph says Buck Crusher can fake orgasms. Yes. Sub Rosa, we get some pretty good shots of, attractive redhead Dr. Crusher. It's not the worst. It's a weird episode. It's not the worst. And Godspeed, yes, it was a Scots-Irish man, an Irish accent. Sniff, sniff, I smell offense. Sharon vs. Bird of Prey, Luxwana, for me, is even more annoying after watching her play a similar character in Babylon 5. Her character in B5 was awesome, and how Luxwana should have been played. Okay, I watched like a season of Babylon 5, and I don't remember it. Cinnabon says the Howard women. Oh, right, Howard women. Is that what it was? So it wasn't the Crusher women. I misremembered. So, there you go. That was 10 minutes I could have gotten back. Miss Lewandale says Sharon Moore, but she was bald. Oh, she was bald in Babylon 5? Yosef is rolling at Alexander's. We want top 5. Number 1, eat a burger. Super chats. Yosef Petro with a... Yosef Petrick with a €2. I was combining Petrick and Euro, so he came Yosef Petro. Yosef Petrick with a €2 super chat. Do we want T'Pol naked? Of course. Who the hell? Yes, we do. And I don't think T'Pol is in the top 5 hottest. I don't even think she's in the top 10 hottest. But, sure, if you're going to offer it, yeah, I'll take it. I mean, you mean she's not like Luxwana Troy, where we'd have to say no thank you. And Yosef wouldn't mind. So much toxic masculinity in this stream. Yosef is rolling at Alexander. Shroom vs. Bird of Prey. Beverly married her brother just like all the previous Crusher women. That's why she kept the name. I might have confused it. I honestly don't remember. I could have sworn they said Crusher, but if it was Howard women, then that makes sense. Although still, the name changes every other generation then. Right? Yeah. My mother's maiden name is different than mom's maiden name. So there's no such thing as Howard women or Crusher women, unless in Star Trek women keep their names and men take the wife's name. But we know that doesn't happen. Josh reads his Bird of Prey. We don't know if Wesley's father took his mother's surname. Let's see. What weddings have there been in Star Trek? I mean, can we not know? Is it... No. Picard, right.
All
right, Picard. Absolutely not. Picard. The Picard family line follows Picard. There is no way that the women take...
Picard married...
Picard married Dr. Crusher, and Dr. Crusher took Captain Picard's name in All Good Things. Okay? So yes. So absolutely, Crusher just loves taking the names of husbands. Not only does she do it once, she does it twice, at least. And God knows how many other men she's married in between. She's Beverly Data, Beverly Worf, Beverly Riker, right between... She had a little stint as Beverly Troy. She was experimenting. She was Beverly Data a second time because he's so fully functional. There was Beverly after she had an unfortunate transporter accident. But hey, it was at least at the wedding, it was the same group for both sides, right? They didn't have two different families. Same family came for both sides. Don't worry, in the future that's perfectly normal. Marrying your transporter duplicate was legalized in 2399. Alexander with a $2 Canadian super chat. Top 5 Leslie Neal episodes. This is what we want. Keiko O'Brien. Yes, Keiko O'Brien too. Absolutely. Thank you so much. There's overwhelming evidence that women take the man's name in the Star Trek universe. Beverly Bird, Beverly Redneck. Yeah, Captain Redneck, you could get Beverly Redneck. That's fine. Jennifer Sisko, exactly, Jennifer Sisko. So meant, thank you, Jennifer Sisko. Yeah. Yeah, wasn't, yeah, okay. That's plenty. That is plenty. It's proven beyond a doubt. Dan23 likes Babylon 5. I'm sure a lot of people do. I found it so hard to get into, and then it just got too old to watch. I hate, it's unfortunate, but it did. If it got an HD upgrade, and I know I sound like I'm an entitled prick. I won't watch, but everybody tells me the show aged terribly, so I don't even want to bother watching it. Refresh it, and maybe I'll watch. I like the concept of Babylon 5. If they did a Babylon 5 reimagining, wow, the screen is completely black almost. Yeah, well, yeah. Why don't we bring the light up a little bit? They want to see my beautiful face. Not a lot. Just there we go. That's good. That's good. If they redid Babylon 5, I'd watch it again. For sure. If they upgraded it, I'd try to watch it. Okay, guys, I'm going to just skip through people who used App Birdo Prey 5. I'm so sorry, but I've been on a lot longer than I hoped. This is a great stream. I love it, and I guess we'll save the toilet bowl, the stalls for another episode. Yeah. This Wednesday, which would normally be Deep Space Nine. Well, it's September 11th. So, Wednesday stream is actually going to be a September 11th stream. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it, but it's not going to be Deep Space Nine. I don't know if we'll do Deep Space Nine Thursday or Friday. Maybe we'll do Deep Space Nine on Friday. That's what I'm thinking. Because I don't want to skip a whole week. But we'll probably move Deep Space Nine till Friday. Do Thursday, Wednesday will be 9/11 stream. We're going to do 9/11 stories and remembrance and whatnot. And Thursday I will do Besiege, and tomorrow will be City Skylines. That's the plan for the week. So I'm going to skip ahead now, and I hate doing it. I'll take a few. Serious 4 words. Someone tell me on Discord. I'm curious. Captain Redneck. I will tell you it on Discord, but I'll have to use some abbreviations because I wouldn't even type it on Discord. But yes, I'm 100% serious. Maybe it was 5 words. 6 words. 6 words. Because I counted 1 word as a double word. You'll understand. But if nobody else has told you on Discord, I'll tell you. Alexander says I insulted Captain. Disgusting. Okay. Alexander says Bird of Prey. Hey, would you have a better support from the state? Here you would have better support from the state. Canada? Well, possibly. DJ says hit that like button, people. Thank you. DJ, you're here.
Oh, hi.
DJ, how are you feeling, man? I heard about your, well, I hope, you put it on Facebook, so I assumed it wasn't private. But I hope you're feeling better, DJ, and, let me know. Maybe I'll find you on Discord or something. I hope all's going well, and welcome back, DJ Odyssey. And everybody's asking DJ how he is. Feeling like crap, but I'm alive and here. Well, DJ, feeling like crap is better than not feeling at all. DJ's is in and out of the hospital now, trying to get back moving. Okay, DJ. Let us know if there's anything. I don't know what we could do, but let us know. Thomas Potts is Bird of Prey. If only someone told you something was loose making that noise. I know, but I was looking around and I couldn't find it. I didn't realize it would be in the middle of the ship. I didn't find it looking for it, honestly. I found it accidentally, where I had happened to grind off a piece of the ship, and I saw a bunch of gyroscopes bouncing around. John Araki says, are you going to do a bed live stream to DJ? Derek says, frack off, Bird. I'm nearly 50. I'm sorry, Derek. No bed streams for DJ. Maybe a recliner life stream. That's good. Agnes says, Bird of Prey. Bird, I have one word. Turtistan is using that new anti-tracker server for themselves, making advancements in the game in there. Yeah, Hector. That's just something we're going to have to accept. It's anti-tracker server. And, you know, what was it? If you guys watched my TOS episode yesterday, the top 5 TOS episodes, the patterns of force, Kirk says the problem, and Dr. McCoy summarizes it for Spock, is that when you give a man that much power, he can't help but be tempted to use it badly. And McCoy and Spock says, I was able to gather the meaning, Doctor. So, Anti-Trigger now has the ultimate power in the game. Will he be able to use it responsibly? I think he will, for a while. But he's a turd, and all turds are evil. So, still doesn't mean we can't have fun playing the game. Hey nerds, down with evil dictators, says Epic Beard. Welcome, Epic. The Doctor is right protected, says Vile Mike. Welcome, Ryle. No, not white protected, Captain. Right protected. Joseph says, sorry to say the Doctor can be anything except non-binary. I don't think they use binary computer systems. Edgar says maybe it's Bird After Dark. No, it was down because lights were down because I had a migraine when I started, though I am feeling markedly better. Joseph Patrick says, it says Google Inner Light, do you even watch Trek? Bird Reloaded. Yeah, thank you. How dare you have a different opinion than me, says Captain Redneck. Tiggia Doom says, Evo O Prey. Joseph says, Actor, you must be fun at parties. DJ says, dressing in black like his favorite woman, AOC, is turning into beatnik. No, this isn't black. This is a red shirt. Which now I'm worried. But yes, it's a red shirt. Tiki of Doom says, yeah, I think it's the neckbeard coming in. So's Lore. No, it's not. I only shaved like 3 days ago. It's not terrible, believe me. I put the flashlight on earlier. I wish I had a neckbeard. Then I could put the camera down and aim forward like Anti-Trigger does. I've got to put the camera above me because the neck is not my best feature. If I had a neck beard, I could cover it all. But if I had a neck beard, my CPAP mask, yeah, BiPAP, CPAP, whatever it is, the mask I use to sleep wouldn't fit because it would all, even when I don't shave. In fact, I probably have to shave today or tomorrow because if it doesn't get a tight fit, it doesn't work. So then I don't sleep, and then all things go to hell. Ms. Londell says top 10 TNG episodes in a light, Measure of a Man, Family. Top TNG episodes, Inner Light, Measure of a Man, Family. Yeah, I mean they're up there. They'd all get honorable mentions, I bet, at least in my case. DJ says, yes, Actor, just need to get the little finger snapping in time now. Thomas is Bird of Prey, racist to Tellarites. I am. Captain Redneck says, I am Woman, hear me meow. DJ says Bird says he doesn't want to look at ugly people. I don't want to look at ugly aliens, is what I said. Tiki says, warlike Tellarites might be cool. John Araki says, top 5 racist Starfleet policies. Oh, there'd be so many. Top 5 butts in Trek? No, not going to do it. John Aragi's top 5 transporter accidents. That's interesting. No, I don't know top 5. It might be too much. Maybe top 3. John Aragi says no love for Hoshi. I like Hoshi. Dan23 says Deep Space Nine and Voyager's first episodes both have writing on the screen. Yes. Yes, they kind of are going Star Wars at the beginning. DJ Odyssey says unsubbing. T'Pol is top 5. Right behind Sister of Prey. Thomas Potts says T'Pol has a nice bum according to Reed. That's true. Joseph says DJ, you are back. Yay, how are you? DJ says he's out of the hospital at least. Now if he could just get these meds to kick the rest of the crap out of him. Well, very cool. Good luck with that, DJ. Really hope you're doing well. Actor says bird yelling at Mom will pray. No. Miss Lundell says Hoshi took Miles' last name. Hoshi took Miles' last. Oh, right. In that fake future. What? Hoshi took Miles' last name?
Yeah.
What episode?
All of them. O'Brien.
That's Keiko.
Oh.
You're confusing your Asians.
Oh, shit.
Mama Frey just confused Hoshi with Keiko. Their only thing that looks is that they're Asian.
I'm going to go get my white mask now.
Yeah. Go get your pillowcase.
Oh, God. I'm leaving. Sorry about that.
Yeah, Hoshi was the language expert in Enterprise.
Yes, I remember that.
Yes.
You're right.
Older people, what do you say? Just the way things were back then.
Oh, Lord.
Asian confusion, yes.
Look, with luck, you'll all get to my age.
With luck, we'll all get to her age, absolutely. John Araki, top 5 Trek singing. And Alexander said Keiko O'Brien. Yes, thank you. Beverly Bird. All of Cisco's relationships and cringy to you? Really, Tiki? Just because he met Jennifer on the beach at a party and he used some lame pickup line to get her number? Or whatever they do. DJ says Bird is an HD snob. Yeah. Joseph says Alexis, Morel, Carrington, Cobra, Dexter, Ronan. If you watch Dynasty, that woman kept all her names. I did not watch Dynasty. Redneck Riker says John Araki. Actor says, it's Bird. DJ says, turn the lights back down. Actor says he didn't even read my comments. Actor, I said use at Bird O'Prey 5. Is Bird being violent to Mom O'Prey? Is Bird yelling at Mom O'Prey? Actor, I don't see. Actor said, we are nerds here, Yosef. I can't. Actor, he looks a little like Lore. I look a little like Lore. Great. Sorry, Actor, but the new rule on the channel is use at Bird O'Prey 5 to be sure I read your comments. It's Bird. And don't feel, certainly repaste it in if I missed it. Feel free to type it in again or paste it in. Red Captain Redneck says Bird of Prey, do a Deep Space 9/11 special. We will talk about Deep Space Nine during the 9/11 episode because they talk about 9/11 and how would Deep Space Nine have even been possible to do after 9/11 because Kira was a terrorist. But I don't think it'll be a Deep Space 9/11. DJ says, thanks, you're welcome. My friend, even, you know what, I don't mind. I don't mind that you have a thing for Sister O'Prey. No, that's fine. Dan23 says Bird of Prey, the actress who played Keiko O'Brien, is going to be in the Mulan live action. Okay, well, that's her second part ever. I don't know. I haven't ever seen her in anything else. Agnes says, yeah, take care, DJ. You're no high schooler anymore. Thomas is Bird of Prey. Today is Friday. Of course it is, Thomas. Joseph says, Wednesday, dentist appointment. My personal tragedy. Oh, man. There were times I was flying on 9/11. There was my first flight after 9/11. There's so much to talk about. Agnew, were you in your rabbit costume? DJ says, yeah, I know the doctor was bitching him out. Oh, probably about smoking. Richie Pools is Bird of Prey. When watching TOS, you should watch the real TOS, not that remastered crap from CBS. I actually like the remastered stuff, Richie, and I understand the purists. I could go either way. If I had the unremastered version, I'd watch it, but on Netflix, which is my easiest way of watching, it's remastered, and I don't mind. Alexander with a $2 Canadian super chat says, I have ordered poutine on my job. Very cool, Alexander. I've heard of poutine. I've never had poutine. And I don't want it, to be honest. Curds sound like turds. DJ says, basically got hit with bronchitis, strep throat, and my sugar levels went through the roof. That's the story. The chest pains weren't a heart attack, just congestion. Well, that's good, I guess. Dan23 says, in a scene in Voyager where the Doctor and 7 and 9 sing, You Are My Sunshine. All the singing episodes would go to Deep Space Nine, because they all had all Vic Fontaine. All the Vic Fontaine and Avery Brooks. Captain Sisko singing with Vic Fontaine. The best is yet to come. So there was no Baby Shark. Oh, DJ says, and the doctor and nurses enough singing Baby Shark in the ER. Finally let me go home. Dan23 says, Voyager doctor sings Someone's in the Kitchen with Dan. Yeah, that's true. Someone's in the kitchen with Dan. I don't know the words. But that whole episode where that much more advanced race has never heard of music. And then for a race that never heard of music, they don't want to hear that poor Harry Kim. They didn't want to hear him play his trumpet or whatever the hell he has. We want the doctor. Joseph says, yep, looks jokes go down the drain. Bird is bypassing comments, so our jokes are mutilated. I'm so sorry, Hector. If you want to try again, I'll read it. Asian confusion. Yeah. Dan23 says, I follow Hoshi actress on Instagram. That's cool. I don't use Instagram. I tried. I had it for a while. I mean, I have an account, but I never use it. DJ says, where's Alexander? He never confuses Asians, well, as long as they are Borg. Agnes says, Bird of Prey means you already hadn't reached my first comment. Understood. Alexander says, I can order a poutine. I read that, but thank you again, Alexander. DJ says, no, didn't tell him I smoked. Oh, DJ. He probably could smell it.
And how did you go so many days in the hospital?
Yeah, how were you in the hospital so long without smoking? You didn't ask for a patch or something? Joseph says, Mama Prey deserves a cake. The only woman in my proximity who knows Trek is my sister. My wife only watched the JJ movies under protest. My mom likes only Picard and only an Insurrection. Wow. No, Mama Prey and I used to watch Star Trek together a lot as I was growing up. Thomas is Bird of Prey. No, I only go either way on remastered versus original TOS episodes. That's it. Agnes says she would have known you were out of air because you climbed in the doctor's examination bed. She would know when you're out of air because you climbed in the doctor's examination bed. Richie Poole is lolling at Thomas. Yeah. Captain Redneck says, my wife loves Voyager, Yosef, TNG a little, and likes the JJ movies when she's drunk. And Alexander, again with a $2 Canadian super chat. Asian Muslim wife, born in the USSR, is the best choice. Alexander,
I've been monitoring your communications with Starfleet Command.
was your Asian Muslim wife born in the USSR actually born in the USSR? So born prior to the collapse of the USSR? Or is she just born in a nation that was formerly part of the USSR? I'm just curious. She seems a little old for an arranged marriage, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. But good luck to you, man. Good luck to you. I wish we could all be so lucky to have found the perfect Asian Muslim wife born in the USSR. Captain Redness says no actor. B'Elanna is her favorite, but she thinks Janeway would make a cool in real life boss. Wow. Yours is Captain Redneck. That's at least something. I have to wear headphones when I want to watch Trek. Yeah, that's like something Sister O'Prey. Although Sister O'Prey doesn't even want Trek to be paused on the television when she comes in the house. DJ says I wasn't in that long to need a patch. Jeez. Okay. I'm sorry. Mom O'Prey would need like a half hour. She'd need a patch. Captain Redneck says, damn, that sucks, Yosef. Actress says B'Elanna is a better choice. Agreed. Captain Redneck, she calls her Belma, though. And Alexander, she was born in 1986. So, yeah, I guess that was still the Soviet Union. Okay. Well, that's cool. Very cool. She was born in the USSR. Not a exaggeration. Oh. So, guys, thank you so much. We had a lot of fun. I got some TOS episodes to talk about. I love talking Trek. This was great. This was a great episode. I really enjoyed it. Guys, please, if I could ask you, if you could do one thing for me besides donate money, it would be to please help share my top 5 TOS episodes video. That episode doesn't have the most views, but that episode has been the single biggest draw for new subscribers to this channel than any video I've done in months. Including the Chappelle video, which has well over 8,000 views. We've had more new subscribers because of the TOS top 5 video. So if there's anything you could do to share that on your social networks with your friends, your family, your co-workers, you print it out and put it in Quiznos, assuming Quiznos still has billboards. I haven't been in Quiznos in 12 years. But they used to have like a community billboard section. Whatever you can do, please. That would be the biggest thing you could do to help the channel. And thank you again so much for all your support and coming in. I mean, listen, we had 24 people. We had even more, and there wasn't even notifications. So thank you all. Yosef says, I assume no late stream tonight. No, Yosef, not from me. Although Anti-Trekker does stream tonight, usually, so maybe he'll start early. I don't know. But he usually streams around 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And Thomas Potts put in a links to a YouTube video. I will tell everybody to go watch it, although I guess I could click on it. I forgot I do have the computer up, even though I'm reading off the tablet. What's the video? Oh, thank you. That is the link to my. I thought you were going to put in. I thought you were going to put in a link to one of my. See, if you go to Thomas Potts' channel, he has lots of videos cut of me crashing in Space Engineers and various other, problems. So, certainly check out Thomas Potts' channel for some funny videos. But that link is the link to the top 5 TOS episodes video. So please, if you can, share it. And Captain Redneck says, Bird of Prey, do the other series top 5 too. I absolutely will, Captain Redneck. I really enjoyed making this video. And I promise. I will do my best to get to them. I mean, God knows we don't know what tomorrow brings, but I'm doing my best. And Cinnabon says you should run my alpaca video. I got 8 subs. I think I did play your alpaca video in one of my videos. So yes, check out Cinnabon Bunny too. Cinnabon does Space Engineers videos, and occasionally please to make me change my name to Alpaca Opre. Farewell from Columbus, Ohio. Good stream. Farewell, Mike Richards. Good night, all. Gonna go lay down for a while, says DJ. Take care. DJ John Araki. Top 5 unfinished anti-tricker reviews. Yes. That's a good one. Joseph gonna go post in a large Facebook group of Czech and Slovak sci-fi fans. Awesome, Joseph. Awesome. Thank you so much. Hakeem says, take care, Bird. See you next stream. Thank you so much, Hakeem. And thank you for sticking around this long, man. I really appreciate it. Cinnabon says, actor doesn't know, and actor says, okay. With that, guys, Qapla, take care. And I'll see you guys on Anti-Trekker stream tonight, hopefully. Hopefully I'll see you there. Qapla. Will it work? For watching my video. Yes. Please remember to comment, like, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell icon. Without it, you won't get notifications of new videos. Check out birdofprey5.com, the new home of everything Bird of Prey 5 on the web. You can also check out my forum at juot.net. I'm also on social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Gab. If you'd like to make a donation, check out paypal.me/birdofprey5 or on birdofprey5.com. Take care.